Rakesh, what do you make of the recent RBI policy?
Well, I think there has to be you have to balance on both sides. But I think instead of Reserve Bank of India, we as a nation and as a society have to focus on supply side problems. What are we doing to revive agriculture productivity? What are we doing to build infrastructure? I think they are the larger problems to be dealt with regarding inflation rather than just interest rates. But to some extent, you have to raise interest rates in order to contain demand if inflation is high.
Do you think interest rates in the system have peaked out?
I don't think so. I think we will get further hikes. Especially, I think the June inflation, my May inflation will be quite high.
So where do you see inflation finally settling? I know I'm asking you.
I'm no economist, but I feel one thing, that if we have a good monsoon and the commodity price is correct, surely inflation in India will correct and there will always be a base effect.
You know, I have a presentation in my hand and it's a 2-year-old presentation where you've clearly indicated that the next big thing Rakesh Jhunjhunwala wants to bet on is going global. So have you decided on something?
No, let the government have capital account convertibility, then I can go global. Otherwise, I can only remit $200,000 a year, along with my wife and children. $1 million, $1 million of capital abroad is what value? Is no value. So only when the government allows capital account convertibility can I take my capital outside.
99.9% of your wealth currently is parked in equities. Are you looking at diversifying it?
No, not at all.
So you're absolutely convinced that equity is the place where you should be?
Yeah, because I think equity will give me a 15 to 24% post-tax return. I'm hopeful. I can't do any business myself, any investment, which can give me a higher post-tax return on large volumes.
You know, it's interesting if I look at your investment portfolio, you don't own any Nifty 50 or Sensex 30 stocks. Why is that?
Well, I hope to own some of those. I hope that some of the stocks which I own will become part of the Nifty or Sensex.
So, apart from Triton, which other stock has the possibility of being part of Nifty 50?
Lupin. Lupin is a very large company now.
What makes you so bullish on Lupin? Because the Indian pharma business...
Growing well, they've done well. They're growing well. I think they're doing well in Japan, America.
What about the pricing power? The generic space is getting extremely competitive.
So what even if except they I think have 28 products. They are number one in 14 of them, in 1, 2, 3 in 8 of them. I like Lupin as a company. Let me not go too much in the details, but I like it as a company.
Rakesh, when you invest in a company, and very early part of my career, I learned from you that you always bet on the management, the entrepreneurship of the management. So between scalability and entrepreneurship, which feature would you bet on?
Well, entrepreneurship leads to scalability. So the entrepreneurship has to be there, only scalability will come. The scalability cannot be in isolation of entrepreneurship.
So how do you identify that? Do you go by the spirit of the management?
I meet them, I try to judge people, and then I see as time progress.
What's the broad message you would like to send across to our viewers, because you haven't interacted with us in a while?
Well, I think don't trade is the first thing.
Don't trade.
And invest in the monthly schemes so that you get to invest at all levels of the market. And have confidence in India. Believe in India, you will make money, I'm hopeful.
But you're absolutely certain that the golden period for Indian equities is not over?
In my personal opinion, I reserve the right to be wrong. I'm absolutely certain that the golden period is still ahead.
So, we are 18,000 on the Sensex. In next 5 to 6 years, can the Sensex touch 40,000?
Don't ask me embarrassing questions.
Next 5 to 6 years.
I would say it depends on the earnings growth. I think the minimum growth in the value of the Sensex will be related to earnings.
And you see earnings could grow, at least the Sensex earnings could grow in the range of about 15 to 18%.
Yeah, and I think at some stages you will have the P's expand, because there is so much money to come from local individual investors. And I think one market rise, everybody comes.
You've just celebrated your 50th birthday last year. So how have things changed for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala after his 50th birthday?
Well, they have not changed the way I would have liked them to change. I would like to improve my personal habits, but I'm just not able to. Apart from that, I think it has brought a lot of maturity thought to me. And with 3 lovely children, it gives me a new zest for life.
Are you spending enough time with your family?
Not as much as I would like to, but surely I try to.
So when you don't trade, what do you do?
Well, I read, play with my children, have a drink, talk to friends, watch movies.
Your daughter turns 8 this month. Are you getting a sense that she's remotely interested in stock markets?
No, she doesn't know anything about stock markets, and I don't want to make any effort that she should be. If she wants to do it on her own, because I want to give her the right to choose what she wants to do in life.
Does she get excited every time she sees you on TV?
Well, she's used to it now. Initially, she used to get excited, but now she's used to it. Of course, if she sees me on TV, she'll shout, "Papa, Papa, Papa, aye, Papa, aye." Even my son recognizes if I come on TV.
Uh, Behind every successful man, there is a woman. Would you give credit to Mrs. Jhunjhunwala for that?
It's all her luck and maybe her bearing of me. I'm very fine. I mean, surely we're equal partners in everything in life.
One personal question. Do you miss your father? It's been 2 years.
I mean, I don't know. He was the man of last resort. I miss him. I miss him sorely, and I miss most is that he could not live to play with my children.
What is one thing which you think was on his agenda which you would like to take forward?
Charity. So that's one agenda, and second agenda is that he wanted me to improve my habits.
What drives you every morning to work, Mr. Jhunjhunwala? You've created enough wealth for yourself, you've created enough wealth for your family, and you've created enough value for others also.
The sheer excitement of the markets. It's my life. I don't work in the markets are my passion.
Will you ever retire from the markets, or do you ever intend to retire?
Well, the day I'm burnt, I will. The day I'm taken to the funeral pyre and burnt, I will never retire really. I may retire from trading because that after a certain age is very stressful. It involves a lot of involvement day to day. So some periods I may retire from trading, but from investing I don't think I can.
You think the best of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is yet to come?
Hopefully so.
Gordon Gekko said that every man on Wall Street has a number. Do you have a number in your mind?
Of what?
Of what you want to ultimately achieve as personal wealth?
Well, if you can, I mean, see, Nikunj, I'm not so much particular of the wealth. We have far lesser wealth than people think about far more than we need. So some extra wealth is not going to make much difference. But it's the sheer thought of investing in something, thinking about the sheer sign of success in the financial markets. I'm more oriented towards being right rather than being wealthier. I would surely like to be wealthy, and I want to ensure one thing in life, and I hope it never will. It never has. That my means will never change for the age.
In the last 5 years, how have you matured as an investor?
Well, I've matured tremendously. I think I've realized that a bird in hand is worth 100 in the bush. I've realized the difference of market leadership. I've realized the advantage of large companies. I've realized how small companies, falter. And now I don't believe, these plans and all very easily. I think I've matured tremendously as an investor.
So are you
and
looking
also
so are you looking at deleveraging some of your risk?
I have leverage, but I have very reasonable leverage. Maybe 2-3% of my portfolio, maybe 4%. I consider that reasonable.
If I look at your recent investments, Delta Corp, Orchid Chemicals, are you now betting on low concept stocks and more visible stocks?
No, I don't think so. I'm really looking for that. I mean, when I bought VIP, I've been looking for a 5-7 year angle. Even Rallis, even Orchid Chemicals, and Delta, of course, is a long-term bet. These are 4 investments I made in the last 2 years. So it hasn't essentially changed.
There is a margin of safety in this market.
I don't define all this. I judge it.
So how do you judge it? It's art or?
Well, it's part science, more art.
Your prerogative, how you want to answer this one. Whom would you like to date?
Let me go back on this. Sharmila Tagore.
No, nobody who's a youth icon?
Not a youth icon. Sharmila Tagore, Dimple Khanna. They were the youth icons when I was young.
On that note, Mr. Jhunjhunwala, we leave it there. Really appreciate your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.